one-stop shop to finding winners across Australia from the world of greyhound racing. Host David Shortte is joined by Harry Buchanan from the Greyhound Insider, Jaycin Campbell to look at Queensland and Tasmanian chasing, Hall of Famer Neil Brown, Sean Matheson looking at South Australian chasing, New South Wales expert Simon Orchard, and the Shane Train Williams rounds it out with his key plays and kennel mail in WA. Now, over to the team for this week's edition of Great Greys.
Good morning and welcome along to Great Greys on this Thursday, the 21st of March 2024. David Shortte with you. Hope you are having a wonderful Thursday morning. Got a big program coming up, catching up with Harry Buchanan, Jaycin Campbell, Ethan Christian, Sean Matheson, Simon Orchard and the Shane Train Williams, all between now and 11 o'clock right here on TAB Radio. Races for broadcast, Newcastle at 10:15. We'll also take race number 1 from Albury at 10:35, Newcastle at 10:50, and we'll be all done and dusted by the time we go to Bendigo for race number 1 at 11 o'clock. Let's welcome in Harry Buchanan, though, on this Thursday morning. It's been a very busy time in greyhound racing. Welcome to you, H. How do we find you today?
Yes, good morning, Shorty. Good morning, listeners. You find me very well. Weather's cooled down a little bit over here, so winter is coming, I think, great, man, and I'm looking forward to that.
Indeed, bit of a cool change for all of us. I think it'll be nice after what's been a long, hot summer. The action's been hot on the track as well, fresh off a massive night out there at Cannington on Saturday, 2 Group 1s. Massive night for the local community as well. We had the best crowd I've seen out there since the new track's reopened. Great vibe. Really wonderful positivity and tremendous to see a lot of people throwing their support right around greyhound racing. Was excellent to see there on Saturday night, Harry.
Yeah, absolutely, Shorty. I've heard nothing but good things about the crowd last Saturday for the First Cup Galaxy. The 2 Group 1s that we have there at Cannington just once a year, and it was so good to see it, really well supported. We had the outside broadcast there with TAB Radio and a lot of the participants and the trainers getting involved there and having a chat to you guys, and yeah, everything I hear was just very, very positive, which, as I said to you yesterday, puts it in very good stead heading towards the Sandgroper, which is arguably going to probably be a little bigger in terms of the crowd. So that was fantastic to see last week, especially with the families and all the little kiddies there. It's a really positive upside, and looking forward to Sandgroper night to see what sort of crowd we get there.
Indeed, and a bit of news as well in that Sandgroper space. We have got Morton trialling before the first race on Saturday night out there at Cannington, which is great. Looking forward to seeing Morton have a bit of an opportunity to acclimatise himself with the Cannington circuit. And the news that Hector Fawley will also be taking a part in this year's Sandgroper. We know him as a very strong greyhound. It's a race that's likely to have a lot of early speed. He just adds that different look to the race, whereby it'll be not getting involved in any early speed battles. But if it happens to be a bit of a messy race, Hector Fawley, we know, is a dog that does possess one of the best run-home splits in the nation over this trip.
Yeah, there's only 2 ways to win at Cannington, as you know, Shorty, and that's to go straight to the front or get onto that fence and hope for a little first turn luck, and there's no other in-betweens there. And that's clearly what they've opted for with Hector Fawley. And look, a lot of people will say it's not his track. It's, you know, it's very hard to come from the back at Cannington over 500, especially when you're chasing time up on the arm. But in saying that, there are so many dogs, and you pointed it out on Coast to Coast yesterday, that will want the lead in this Sandgroper from what we've seen so far. And by all reports, the ones that will possibly be announced in the upcoming weeks are also first split dogs. So they may have played a little bit of a sneaky hand here and decided to stay out of that early speed battle and just look for that first turn run. He's a good railer, and we know that when he gets a little bit of space up the back to operate, very, very hard to hold out. So it could be a bit of a masterstroke with Hector Fawley. In saying that, he's going to need a little bit of luck on a track like Cannington.
Most definitely, and I think this box draw is going to be as crucial as any other race that we've looked at, with a bunch of dogs that are looking for that early arm advantage as far as being able to get a clear run early is going to be very, very important. That is for sure and certain. Got a magnificent night of chasing to look forward to across there at Sandown this evening, Harry. I love the Launching Pad series. Each and every year it throws up some tremendous youngsters that have got huge futures in the sport that are likely to go on and win big races in the upcoming months. And tonight, this card's just chock full of quality.
Yeah, it certainly is. There's 4 semi-finals for the launching pad tonight. I love the series because that's a 3-week series. We ran the heats last week, and a few of the dogs that got beaten at short quotes get another opportunity to advance tonight. And they also have the runaway, the 2 heats there, which is, I think actually they might have 4 heats, or actually it's 3 heats. There we go, right in the middle. So they're the dogs that also went around in the launching pad heats last week, and it's a consolation series, I guess, but gee, there's some quality dogs. I think it's a 1 to 6 series, and there's some very, very promising canines running around tonight. I cannot wait for a few of our favourites are getting around there in the runaway heats early on in the card, and then later on, I think there's a couple of dogs at big prices that can run races just on watching their heat runs last week. I think we can find a few at odds at the very least for a bit of an each way spec, Shorty.
Very nice. Well, let's get your thoughts on tonight's Sandown program. To kick things off, where should we be having a bet?
Yeah, we'll start with one that's really short and one that we know really well here, and that's the first heat of the runway, and it's Ethanol Water, box 1 at race number 2. She's boxed to win. I thought she was a little disappointing last week off box 6, but she didn't have a lot of luck, and she's a different animal when she draws inside. 29.28, 2 starts to go, 34.02 over the 5.95. She goes very, very well here. She's a very, very promising daughter of Droopy Sydney, and I just don't know that these are going to be able to go with her early. And even if they do, if 1 or 2 get across, they're going to be looking for her in the rear vision mirror. She's got very big middle and last section, and I think she can justify the short quote there in race number 2. Now we'll get into a little bit of value here. Go down to race number 5. There's 2 dogs that really caught my eye last week in the middle here. King Owen and Paying Dividends. There's a really nice story too with Paying Dividends that you can catch on social media. I think these 2 dogs here, without them getting into the early speed battle, Lakeview Emily, very short in box 1 and rightly so. But the first reserve, Patulator, goes in now into box 2. He's a sharp box dog, this fella. He got a little bit early toe, and he likes to get to that fence very, very quickly. So she may not get it all her own way here. This could be trouble. And if that's the case, both King Owen and Paying Dividends, gee, they ran on well from the back last week in very, very messy races. And they had to navigate a lot of traffic to get into the positions they did. King Owen running third and Paying Dividends, of course, winning hers, coming from second last up the back. It was a huge win. They're both around $26 with Tab Touch. You can play both of them place heavy there. I think we can get a result. Race 6, number 5, Rev Rose, another dog who I just think is going to slot over to the fence here. He's very good, this dog. I know his form tapered off there for a little bit, about 5-6 starts ago, but last week behind Paying Dividends, he also made ground from the back. And he's another dog that if he gets a look somewhere through the middle section, he will be hard to stop, and he's got a lot of ability. It's a good race, that one, but I think there's a few dogs there that want the lead. They cannot all have it. He doesn't need it. So we can back him on the each way and finish it off with this dog in race 7. I'm really surprised he's around $40. Slick Rambo, number 6 here. He had his first look at Sandown last week behind Lakeview Emily. He came from last. I know he was beaten a fair way, but his work he did through the middle and last section was just enormous. And he's a dog that came from Wagga, Tamora, Goulburn, those sort of areas. And he's trained by David Gill. Now, you'd know as well as I do, Shorty, the bloke knows how to win a feature race. And to put this dog through this launching pad series, they clearly think he's got the talent to win it. And he showed last week that he's going to improve out of sight tonight. And I think at that big quote, he is absolutely worth an each way play. So race 2, number 2, Ethanol Water. Race 5, number 5 and 6, King Owen and Paying Dividends. Race 6, number 5, Rev Rose. Race 7, number 6, Slick Rambo at Sandown this evening, Shorty.
Very nice on a bumper 12 race card. Ethan Christian will give us his thoughts for the early and main quaddie in the next 20 minutes right here on TAB Radio on Great Greys, where it's currently 11 minutes after 10 o'clock. We're having a chat to Harry Buchanan. That's Sandown looked at from Harry's perspective. Let's look locally later on this evening. We've got a 12 race program this evening there at Mandurah. First race gets underway 6:46. Talk us through your thoughts for tonight's program down there at the Coastal Circuit.
Yeah, I'm keen on a couple here, Shorty. Just waiting on the markets to open up here. Going to kick it up in race 1, number 6, Charlie's Harley. It's got some early speed, this dog. It was leading a few races there at Cannington, even at Mandurah over the 400. We haven't seen it for around 20-odd days, 19 days now, and drops back to the 300. I just think it can go forward here. And if it does cross and lead, I can't imagine it being caught. It's got form around Loki Hook, a little bit sour, who is going around later on in the evening. It's the best dog in the race. Tricky box, but as I said, early speed, it can put these away if it steps, and I'm hoping that we get some sort of a quote around that 350 mark. So we'll kick it off in race 1 with number 6. Race 7, number 1, Henry Keeping. The old boy is racing as well as ever. He's coming off 6 consecutive placings, and the last 4 of 5 have been behind Watch Me. There's no Watch Me tonight, so he'll be quite happy to see her staying at home. Box 1, lethal. 12 starts, 2 wins, 8 placings, never out of the money. He's got Scientist outside him, runs a nice straight line. He'll get every hope to lead all the way here. Don't dismiss Scientist if he's a big each-way quote, but I just think the red is boxed to win here. I think Sunset Peppy will get the job done, but he's probably going to be very, very short. I think you'll be looking around $1.30. Just keep your eye on him in race number 6. And then go down to race 8. Number 6, Cupid's Dream. Had a crack over the 488 last start. That didn't pan out. I like the dog here drawn off the track. Back over 400 metres. Was very good 2 starts ago, 22.43. I like its turn a foot off the mat. And with Wahoo Manelli inside, I just think it can get the nice drag up to the first turn here. Be very hard to stop, especially if it crosses the red. Hard to stop, a little bit sour, but she does have to contend with Penny in pocket, who is a sharp box dog outside her. So they'll be the couple at Mandurah this evening. Race 1, number 6. Race 7, number 1. Race 8, number 6. And I think the best will be in race 8. He'll be a good each-way bet, Cupid's Dream.
Very nice. Race 1, number 6, race 7, number 1, race 8, number 6 tonight there at Mandurah. Harry, tremendous as always catching up with you here on Great Greys. Appreciate your time. We'll hear from you tomorrow morning with the boys on the Sports Daily at 6:30, and then tomorrow afternoon for another big edition of the Mail Collection. Until then, many winners.
Talk then, Shorty. Thank you, mate.
There we have it, Harry Buchanan here on Great Greys, where it's now 14 minutes after 10 o'clock. We're now
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
Where it's now 17 minutes after 10. Time to have a chat to Jaycin Campbell. Have a look at Albion Park Chasing and Hobart Greyhound Racing tonight. Welcome to you, JC.
How are you, Shorty?
Going really well, thank you. Looking forward to all the action tonight up there at Albion Park. Also down there at the other part of the night. It's been a big week, obviously, down there in Tassie with the announcement in regards to the Tassie Devils and lots of memberships being sold there, 100,000 plus memberships. Great to see there for the Apple Isle. They've, of course, got the Jack Jumpers involved in the NBL finals, and they've also got their cricket side involved in the Sheffield Shield final. So it's all happening down there in Tassie, and we'll get a couple of tips from Jace for the Hobart meeting tonight. But we'll start off, as we always do, with you, having a look at Albion Park tonight. Who are you keen on?
Brilliant meeting tonight at Albion Park. We had to see the return of Queensland superstar Val Policella, as well as Queensland's best sprinter, Jay goes around the best 8. I'll kick things off in race 2, Shorty. Number 1 here, Cincinnati Hope. I thought she opened up a nice price, and Tub Touch punters have agreed with me. She's $9 into $5.50 now. I think she just had a string of bad box draws and poor maps. However, she draws box 1 here tonight. She looks to potentially even lead this race up with Hopeful Nana outside her, likely to use the track early. I think she can lead it and prove hard enough to run down at the $5.50.
Very nice. Good price each way early. Race 2, number 1, Cincinnati Hope. On to the next of your key plays.
Another one that has seen great market support nice and early in the day. Race 4, number 4, Willow's Gift. She's been $3.90 into about that $2.40, $2.50 quote. I think she finds a really good race here. She has won the 11 from 25 starts. I think Obliging Hope in box 2 will push forward here with Danger Zone the 8 also coming across. I think the pair will cut at each other, and Willow's Gift should sit in third, stalk them, and probably prove too strong late in the piece. So race 4, number 4, Willow's Gift.
Willow's Gift to get the job done from the blue in race number 4, and you're saving your best till last. Yep,
that's what I'm doing, Shorty. Race 8, number 2, Rockley Earl. Finds a really nice race here and a really good map, in my opinion. Aiden's Queen in box 1. It'll spear straight to the front. Rockley Earl can tag that dog into the race. Law Rain in box 3 wants to use the track. So I think there's no excuses for Rockley Earl not to settle up second in running here, and the favourite, Kaylo Hayes, despite her being in terrific form, winning 6 on the bounce, her stripes were lowered last start. She has a tricky box here in 7. Box 6 wants to use the track. I just don't see how Kayla Hayes is going to get an uninterrupted run, and I think Rockley Earl is going to be the biggest beneficiary of that.
Very nice. There's the map for race 8, number 2. Rockley Earl looks well placed there in the 8th this evening at Albion Park. In recap, for Jaycin Campbell this evening at Albion Park, race 2, number 1, Cincinnati Hope each way. Race 4, number 4, Willow's Gift. And race 8, number 2, Rockley Earl, the best of them. We head down to Tassie, the meeting at Hobart tonight, and you've got a couple to leave us with down there.
Yeah, I'll just roll through these short if you don't mind. Race 3, number 3, Fun Police. Ted Medhurst trained Bitch. She started her career in terrific fashion, winning her first 4 in the trot. Admittedly, did lose form at the end of last preparation. However, she's had 6 weeks off here. She comes into this race on the fresh side, where I think she'll race best. She has a really nice map here with the 2-dog 9 Demon set to cut and run. I think Fun Police will prove the dog with the most upside here. And just a statistic about 9 Demon, despite being a very, very talented bitch, winning 13 or 47, she's yet to win over this track and trip in 12 starts. So I think that rings alarm bells for me with the favourite, and I think Fun Police can get the better of her. And race 6, number 6, Rojo Diamond. He's an old marble, this dog. He's had 74 starts for 39 wins and 21 placings, if you don't mind. Looking to bring up the 40th win tonight, and I think he can do so. He has vacant boxes either side of him, and browsing about first up could potentially be a bit susceptible late in the piece. So I think Rojo Diamond is the biggest beneficiary of the small field and should be too strong late in the piece.
Race 3, number 3, race 6, number 6 there this evening at Hobart. Jace, outstanding as always here on Great Greys. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to join us and share your thoughts. Good luck and many winners to you till we chat next week.
Thanks, Shorty. You too, mate.
There we have it. Jaycin Campbell with the latest tonight there at Albion Park and Hobart.
This is your home of the Greyhound Good Oil, Great Greys.
Man with the hot hand, Ethan Christian, been finding a stack of winners with us on a Wednesday on the Coast to Coast podcast and also on the Mail Collection on a Friday afternoon with Neil Brown still travelling the high seas. This fine young man's been good enough to join us again for this week's edition of Great Greys. G'day, Ethan. How do we find you today?
Find me very well, Shorty. It's, another great day down here in Melbourne and another great night of chasing out at Sandown Park tonight with semis of the launching pad.
Certainly is. I know that you'd be getting pretty excited because we've got a runway, 3 heats of those for the dogs that just missed out last week, and there's some genuine quality through there. And then we rip into the 4 semi-finals of the launching pad. It's a stellar night of chasing ahead.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it's made even more interesting that 2 of the pre-series favourites in Kenya All Class and Ethanol Water are out of the main series and in the runway, which we've seen in recent years. Dogs like Big Energy and Transponder fail through the main series and come through the runway. So it's not all doom and gloom for those chasers. I'm sure they'll give a good account of themselves.
They most definitely will. All right, well, let's get your thoughts for the early quaddie tonight. Race number 1 is a mixed grade 6 and 7 final over the 5:15 to kick off proceedings.
Yeah, I'll run through the early quaddie. And Richard Lewis, I thought in the first leg was the run of the heats in this 6-7 event and will be a good chance to lead up the field again tonight. But just from the sticky draw and the inexperienced dog, I'm going to take a couple of them. I'm going to take 4, 2, 6 and 1 in the first leg. Running into the second leg, no surprises for what I'm doing here. Ethanol Water's got many lengths on this field and just needs a passage at the right time. So I'm going to stand out the 1 by herself in the second leg. In the third leg, Shake It Off looks to get a great run behind the early leader in Big Brain and should prove very hard to hold out. And Zipping Minaj is a talented dog, and even though he's drawn the dreaded pink at Sandown, she should be in the finish. So I've got 2 and 8 in the third leg. And then coming home in the fourth leg, Kenya All Class, like Ethanol Water, just requires a passage to win fast. From box 5, this will be a bit tricky to come by, so I'm going to go wide in the last leg with 5, 8, 7, 1 and 4. So to recap my early quaddie, 4, 2, 6 and 1, then standing the 1 out by itself, then 2 and 8, then 5, 8, 7, 1, 4. $40 should get you 100%.
Excellent. On to the main quaddie, and love the look of this main quad tonight because, of course, we're lucky enough here to have the 4 heats of the launching pad. Outstanding chasing. Talk us through your thoughts for the main quaddie this evening, kicking off with the first of the launching pad semi-finals. Lakeview Emily, our odds-on favourite at $1.60 in front of Zipping Grillis $4, and I'm a Mustang at $6.50.
Yeah, I thought Lakeview Emily just about wins if she's able to hold on to the lead. She's the fastest chaser in the field. She just has to hold her spot from the inside alley and then punch through, and that'll be it. But Tipping Gorillas will make her work in the first 50 metres, so I am going to take both of them just in case. So 1 and 4 to kick off the quaddie.
1 and 4 in the first leg. Moving on to the second leg this evening, race number 6. Can You Exceed comes up with the inside draw as our current $2.45 fixed odds favourite.
Yeah, and he's drawn exactly where he wants to be, which may just make the difference in this race. Tipping Hopkins is by far the informed dog, having moved to the Ennis Kennel. He's flying at the moment, but again, another dog that's drawn the dreaded Pink Alley, but it's going to be an even affair, I think. I don't know if Can You Exceed should be that short, but I've got him on top, 1, 8, 2 and 3.
1, 8, 2 and 3 for Ethan there in the second leg of the quaddie tonight at Sandown. Marching on now to the third leg, race number 7, and the Tab Touch fixed odds market has Mapunga Reward for Jeff Britton off the inside draw at $1.95, on High Alert at $3.10, Amron Tiger a $5 chance.
Yeah, I've got Mapunga Reward on top, but again, $1.95 for a dog that's not the best early and will want to get wide. It's Thrill Seekers odds, but look, the Class Edge will probably take him a long way to winning, but he's going to need a bit of luck to get to the outside of the track, so I'm going to take 1, 3, 5 and 7.
1, 3, 5 and 7 there in the third leg. And the final leg of the quaddie tonight, race number 8 on the program. And here we see the former West Aussie Peaky Boo was very good last week for Benny Rawlings, winning in 29.51 off the inside draw. It's at $2.90. Peaky Joe 4.60. Ethanol Volume off the red, a $5 chance.
Yeah, and Peaky Boo's handled his trips from South Australia to Victoria very well so far. Had a trial before his run last week, so third up at the track now, and there's no reason he can't leave a winner again. I thought Ethanol Volume was a good run the other week and has plenty of talent, but is drawn inside out, and this map will test. But again, I think it's fairly even. I think a couple of dogs will get their chance. I'm going to take 2, 8, 1 and 7.
2, 8, 1 and 7. So we've got 1, 4, 1, 8, 2, 3, 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 8, 1 and 7 in the main quaddie tonight there for Ethan. Looking for best bets now. Ethan, are there a couple that stand out to you tonight at Sandown?
Yeah, there's actually 3 that I'm keen on tonight, and all fairly short in the market, but they should give you a good sight. Race 5, number 1, Lakeview Emily. We'll know our fate early, as I touched on. She will likely have to lead to win, but she has been stepping really well recently, and she's won from this box before, so she should get a good chance to take that one out. And then heading on to race 9, number 6 with Grand Tourer. It's a field that's lacking experience, 2-turn campaigners, and he has this experience on his side and a bit of early speed too. He can hold a wider line, which will offset the tricky draw. And then race 12, number 1, Phelan Tubman. He flew out of the traps for a strong win at the Meadows last start, and anything near a repeat should see a similar performance and a result. The move from box 4 to box 1 can only be a positive too. So race 5, number 1, race 9, number 6, and race 12, number 1 are my best on the card at Sandown tonight.
5, 1, 9, 6, 12, 1 tonight there for Ethan at Sandown. Outstanding, Ethan. Appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us this morning here on Great Greys. We'll chat tomorrow afternoon on the Mail Collection.
Thanks, Shorty. Chat then.
There we have it. Ethan Christian with us this morning here, where it is now 28 minutes after 10 o'clock. David Shortte with you. Hope you're having a ripper Thursday morning. Still to come on the program, we'll be catching up with Sean Matheson, Simon Orchard and the Shane Train Williams. Also getting my thoughts for tonight's program there at Mandurah. Still to come race-wise, Albury race number 1 at 10.35, Newcastle race 2 at 10.50, and the first from Bendigo will be at 11 o'clock. Having a look now at that market for Albury, comes up in 6 minutes' time. Aquilina's Star, our current favourite with Blake McDougall to take the ride, opened at 195, been a touch easy out to 220. Oh, what a night, 460 into 420. Nick on by, 650 to 7. Conjoin is 550 to 7. Box of Crackers 6 to 850 at longer odds. Cab Perio, very well commissioned, $34 into 11. Also at a big price in is Bridget Rose, 101 into 41. Bonneville 41 to 51, and Secret Shio 41 out to $61. 5 minutes for the first at Albury gets underway. The Allure Lash and Beauty Country Boosted Maiden Showcase Plate over the 1,000 metres. Time though now to talk all things South Australian chasing. Have a look at this big program tonight at Angle Park, and joining us is Sean Matheson. Welcome to you, Sean. How do we find you today?
Yeah, good, thanks, David. Yeah, great to be on the show again this week with you. And, our racing has been going wonderfully well here in SA. We topped off by last Sunday where Adhana Rico won the Group 3 Murray Bridge Cup, and I believe at some point they're going to probably head down to Mount Gambier next month for their Group 3 Cup, so it'll be terrific for that dog to go chase the riches down the southeast of the state. First of all, we got the big 12-race program tonight here at Angle Park.
Absolutely, and there's some good chasing as well to look forward to throughout the course of the night. One of the real highlights will be race number 10 there, where we get to see Ravers Army, Victor Marley, Stout Manelli all going around. Only the 4 runners there in that open affair over the 530 metres. But, gee, there's some quality in this lineup and plenty of prize money that's been racked up by these particular chasers in their career to date. Looking at about 600 and $50,000 amongst the 4 runners. They've been excellent campaigners.
Oh, most definitely. As you mentioned, only a small field, but high-quality race 10 tonight. It's sort of the nature of, in South Australia, just those higher-grade dogs, just the opportunity, unless it's sort of a cup series or something like that. But in normal graded events, we're finding we're just getting some small numbers, whether it be over 530, 595, and also the stayers. But we're fully supportive of these types of races going ahead. And whilst we wouldn't normally run a 4-dog race, the quality of these runners is outstanding, and hopefully a few of them will be progressing to next Thursday night, where we'll be having our Easter match race series for the locals. So, they get a bit of a taste of what it might be like to run in a small field. They'll probably get that next week as well.
Most definitely, and I'm loving the 595 metre series that's on there tonight. A couple of heats there with Like Wildfire taking on a Zipping Neutron and Miss Artemis, and also we get to see Magical Mystic off the inside draw up against Dash of Blue Triumph. It's been some nice dogs from the East Coast find their way to South Australia in recent times. I would have thought too, a couple of them wouldn't have been cheap dogs either. Like Wildfire, we know, is a dog with a massive motor. Triumph has had a really good career before arriving across there in SA. There's been some high-profile additions to the South Australian chasing ranks in recent weeks.
Oh, most definitely. I think that's it's good for the state to see these dogs come to South Australia, during their career when they're still, at their very best. And certainly some of them are going on and getting better. So, I think that's really good. And, at the top end anywhere, David, in greyhound racing, if you can get the right dog, place him really well, you can definitely make some decent money in all states of Australia, not just necessarily the East Coast, but in all of our states. The money is very good in greyhound racing, and certainly what we're finding is we're attracting some of those dogs to the state, and they're having success.
Indeed. A couple of minutes away from the first of the day here, punters, if you're looking to get involved there at Albury, get your bets on now. We'll make a start, though, on your best bets tonight at Angle Park. Sean, who do you like on this 12-race card?
So a couple of best bets and a bit of a roughie for the listeners. So race 7, number 5, Springvale Grace is the first of the best bets, around that $4 mark, David. She's only really lightly raced. She did win the Gawler Maiden back in January, and she's had 2 runs back after a bit of a break. She's run against Unholy Rain and Merindar City in some special event races, gets back to a grade 6 here. She ran a good third 2 weeks ago. I think she's got the speed here to lead, David, and that's what I'm banking on. She's got some quality about her. I just think she finds the front here and just be too hard to run down. She does want the rail, so if she can lead, it's going to be very hard for anyone to get past her. If she sort of doesn't lead, it's going to be a little bit harder, but that's why I think you're getting $4 about her.
Fair enough too. Race 7, number 5 at a good quote, Springvale Grace. Moving behind the barriers here for race number 1 at Albury. We might be able to sneak in your second play tonight there at Angle Park, Sean.
The second's in the next race, in race 8. This is a grade 5 final. Heats were run last week. I like number 2, Senewick, for Kieran Corby. Drawn much better against her rivals this week than last week. I think she leads. She does have high speed. And I noticed last week she was getting home really well in running third, which is not normally her caper, so she might be getting a bit stronger. I think if she leads, I think she can hold them all off.
Tremendous. Race 8, number 2, Centerwick to cash in on the good draw tonight. Maddie, we might throw back to you. They look like they're moving in pretty nicely here for the first of the day at Albury when we return. Sean Matheson, the third play for tonight at Angle Park, as well as his other tips for SA Chasing this upcoming weekend.
You are tuned into Shorty and the team on Great Greys.
Well, we're having a chat to Sean Matheson, having a look at Angle Park for tonight. His first 2 plays, race 7, number 5, Springvale Grace, race 8, number 2, Centerwick. And the third of them, Sean?
The third of them, it's a bit of an each-way basis here, David. It's in race 6, and it's number 6, Aston Arena, quoted around, I think, about $30, $34. So it's on an each-way basis. This is a Masters event. And it almost throws up a different winner every week. So I'm hoping this is the week it throws up Aston Arena. But her form is not that bad to be that sort of quote. She ran 5th in a heat last week of the Murray Bridge Cup, which wasn't a bad run. 5th in a Masters. And then 3 runs ago, she came from box 5 and ran 2nd in a Masters event where she showed some good speed, was able to land 2nd and chased home quite well. Whilst only was beaten 5 lengths, but she's a 31-20 dog, and that's probably what's going to win this race tonight. So I'm looking for her from box 6 to possibly get a nice card across from the 5 Springvale Maddie and the 4 Psychotic Babe, land a nice handy spot, and she does have some middle distance form to her, so I'm hoping she can be strong at the end. So the key for her is to get across early, and then run home well. And I think she's a good each-way play, particularly if she can get to the rails nice and early.
Fair enough, too. Well, we don't have to have too much on to find out there, punters. $34 and $4.80 the place. Race 6, number 6, Aston Arena. Good luck if you're getting involved there at the nice price this evening. What about Murray Bridge Friday and Gawler on Sunday?
So Murray Bridge on Friday, I like a race 3, number 5, Glisten for Kim Johnson. This greyhound has been in quite good form, was a winner at Gawler 3 runs ago, breaking 23 seconds, 2nd behind Warcraft, and then last start was 4th behind Blazing Butters. I feel the Kim Johnson team is going really well. This is not an overly strong race, and the big one-turn track should suit this dog. So I do think that she's going to be really hard to beat tomorrow. Race 3, number 5, Glisten for Kim Johnson, and then off to Gawler on Sunday night. And I like one in race 7, number 8, Universal Value for Mike Whitholtz. He's probably going to be some decent odds here. There's some nice sprinting types in this race. It's a mixed 3-4 event. But he doesn't mind a wide draw. He's won 2 races placed on 3 occasions from a wide draw and is dropping back to 400-metre distance from the 5:31, and it was a placing a couple of runs ago when it did that. So I just think the wide draw should actually get a nice run across with the 7 Panama Queen, who's pretty desperate for the rail. So just hoping a good beginning and can put himself right in the race from the wide draw.
Magnificent race 7, the Fairy Floss Runner, Universal Value to get the job done for us there on Sunday, and Glisten, Murray Bridge tomorrow, race 3, number 5. Excellent work as always from you, Sean. Thank you for taking time out of your Thursday to join us. We'll do it all over again this time next week.
Excellent, David. We'll talk then.
There we have it, Sean Matheson talking all things South Australian chasing for today there. It is now 19 minutes away from 11 o'clock.
Tab. You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
Where it's time to catch up with Simon Orchard and have a look at New South Wales chasing over the next few days. Welcome to you, Simon. How's it all going there in your neck of the woods?
Shorty, g'day mate, g'day listeners. A rare, not a down week, but gee, we've had some excitement over the first couple of months so far in 2024. Bulleye Cups, Gosford Cups tomorrow, and then of course the Country Classic taken out pretty spectacularly in the end by Bella Una. So it's just a little bit of a lull, I guess, before the Golden Easter egg, but we do have a good race at Dapto kicking off tonight, and then of course all steaming ahead towards April 13. Wentworth Park, the Golden Easter egg final night, where we'll give over, what do we got? Over $500,000 worth of prize money ready to give away to our participants, Shorty. So looking forward to the next couple of weeks, that's for sure.
There have been different races pop up on the Australian national calendar, but I've always regarded the Golden Easter Egg probably up there with the Melbourne Cup, Australian Cup, Top Gun. They're the real big races on the calendar each and every year. And just the nature of the series, Simon, you have to have such a great dog just to get through to a final, let alone win one. 3 straight weeks you've got to measure up and get the job done, and it's the ultimate test. I'm yet in my lifetime to see a greyhound get through by chance when it comes to the series that is the Golden Easter Egg. Just a gruelling 3 weeks, and the cream generally does rise to the top.
Yeah, you're spot on, mate. You only have to look at, the past winners list to realise just how quality a dog you need to have to win this race. Simply Limelight, of course, won it last year. She's a pearl. Tommy Shelby from over there in your neck of the woods, an absolute star. Uphill Jill, Fernando Bale, the list goes on. And I don't doubt that this year we will crown another wonderful winner. But you're spot on. Timmy the Battler Newbold said during our coverage of the Country Classic last week that it's the only heat, semis and finals race, obviously, here in New South Wales, but there can't be too many even left around the country. Is that right, Shorty?
No, that'd be right. Yeah, there's only a few races left on the calendar that have the 3-week sort of series, and understandable given the clustered nature of Australian racing these days and how many different features there are. Tried to get jammed into the 52 weeks, but I love the fact that they haven't tried to mess with that as well. Simon, I think that's part of what makes the Golden Easter Egg so special, the history of it, and it is a challenge. So you do have to be a tough and durable dog to be able to front up 3 weeks in a row, somewhere near your best to win a race like this.
Yeah, you're spot on, and really looking forward. I think we saw some wonderful racing on Saturday, but really looking forward to who emerges in the next couple of weeks from either interstate, but even a dog like Superstar Ethics, who we weren't really talking about a couple of months ago, all of a sudden puts up a 29.4 performance. You've got the likes of Good Oz Cobber, who's a known commodity, running really well. History's coming. The Group 1 Derby winner ran a brilliant race last week, and then the Richmond Oaks winner, Shanghai Susie, also went about 29.5. So we're starting to see them emerge, and I know the purists will be getting really excited as some of the best in the business step out at Wentworth Park over the next couple of weeks. So heaps next weekend. Really looking forward to obviously semi-final night and then final night, where it's all going to be happening. And I've already mentioned the prize money, but the Association Cup, the Embrasoli, the New Sensation, the Ultra Sense. There's just a race for just about every dog, and if you can't get along, make sure you tune in, because there's going to be some wonderful coverage on thedogs.com.au as well, my friend.
Most definitely. Always doing a great job there. Make sure you follow our man Simon on thedogs.com.au. Let's see if you can't find a winner or two for us. So it's something you're very good at. Where should we be having a bet over the next few days?
I'm just checking the program right now. 12-6 at Casino. You've still got time. 12-6 Casino, the best bet there today. Gold Sprite Miss. Gunnedah, the Savo as well, or later on tonight, race 9, number 2, Pessimism, is one of the best dogs going around out there at Gunnedah tonight. I tell you what, there's a bloke named Jamie Bush who's absolutely crushing it out at Gunnedah, so just a quick cheerio to him as well. It's not one of his dogs, but he's doing a good job. But 9-2 Pessimism, the best dog out at Gunnedah. And then Dapto tonight, we mentioned those 4 heats of the Easter Bunny, 5th grade series over 500 metres. Race 8, number 2, Numb, I don't mind as a betting prospect. I think there's, the likes of Bandit Blue is going to be really hard to beat, but she's about $1.30 or $1.40, so I couldn't tip you into her. But I think Numb, race 8, number 2, is a good bet. And then race 6, number 7, Corborn Red for young Bailey Dickinson. I also think that's a good race. I spoke to Andy Lord this morning. He likes Big Red Bandit to run a good race in race number 6, but I think Fauna Storm and Corborn Red, they've got the early pace, and they'll be duking it out at the front. And I don't mind Corborn Red off that really good run at Wenty last week, a 29.7 effort, I should say, last Saturday night. So 6-7 at Dapto and 8-2 Numb. And then Andy was kind enough to tip us into the best bet in his whole kennel over the weekend. It comes tomorrow night at Wenty Park, race 8, a dog by the name of Black Misery. So Wenty Park Friday. Best bet for the Lord Kennel. He's got about a dozen runners going around this weekend. Is Black Misery, up in grade, but he thinks he's boxed where he needs to be, and it's a race that he can win with only 6 runners. So he reckons he might get a good price there as well. So there's a couple to follow over the next couple of days, mate.
Excellent work there, punters, and follow in race 8, number 7, Black Misery, Friday night there at Wentworth Park. Tonight there at Dapto, 8-2 Num, 6-7 Corborn Red. Simon, appreciate your time as always here on TAB Radio. Thanks so much for joining us today, and next week will be excellent. We'll get your thoughts a little fast forward towards Saturday night's heats of the Golden Easter Egg. Really exciting time across there throughout the course of the Easter period, and then fast forwarding to early April with the Golden Easter Egg, one of the great races on the Australian chasing calendar each and every year. Until then, many winners, Simon.
Yeah, have a great weekend, Shorty. Hooroo.
There we have it, Simon Orchard here on TAB Radio. It's now 12 minutes away from 11 o'clock. Our second race for the day at Newcastle is only less than 2 minutes away now. It is a 2-year-old maiden plate over the 1,200 metres, and holy dooly, 3 scratchings. You got to front up to a very warm price favourite here in the form of Fearless. Open 145, now into $1.20, so very trim. Media World 440 out to 6. Blue Vein 21 into 15. Tembury Wells 15 to 21. Justice Please 13 to 21. Indecisive 16 to 23. And Too Soon is 51 out to $61. Only 2 runners that the punters want here in the second. Fearless, one-way traffic 145 to 120 with a little specking on Blue Vein 21 into 15 for the son of Blue Point in race number 2. We've got a little under a minute to go until they jump there for Newcastle in race number 2 of the day. Shane Train Williams will be with us very shortly. And of course, we have got a big weekend of chasing coming up Friday night out there at Mandurah. Heats of the Good Friday Cup. And there are some of WA's best sprinters strutting their stuff. A number of them coming out of the Perth Cup Series that'll be hooning around there at Mandurah on a Friday night over the 400-metre trip. Sunset Fraser, who was, of course, one of the key fancies going in to that feature final, the Perth Cup on Saturday night. It's opened up $1.55. I must admit, I thought it might even be a touch shorter than that going into that feature series on a Friday night. Sunset Hornet $1.40 in the first of the heats. Black Salmon $2.25 and Sunset Tyson $2.30 in its heat. Heading up betting. Let's go across there to Newcastle now for race number 2. When we return, we'll be catching up with Shane Train Williams, getting his thoughts.
This is your home of the Greyhound Good Oil, Great GREYS.
And it's time to round out the show with a chat to our great mate, the Shane Train Williams, on this Thursday morning. G'day, Train. How do we find you today?
Yeah, good morning, Shorty. Good morning, listeners. How are you today, brother?
Going really well, thank you. Just coming off a bit of a high, though, it must be said. That was a spectacular night out there at Cannington on Saturday night. Wonderful to see so many people out there at the track getting behind our big night of the year.
Yeah, it was a very big crowd, Shorty. Come as a bit of a surprise. Upstairs was full. Downstairs was full. The lawns were full. And, I think we had a really good night. I think everyone took in the atmosphere of the night. And, it was really good, Shorty. It was something like the old days. Not quite as big, but it wasn't far off.
No, spot on. And just a great vibe. I think a lot of families having a really good evening, and tremendous to see such great support for greyhound racing out there on Saturday night. And while we're talking of the night, you must have gone home proud of your old stager, the pin-up boy for the kennel for such a long period of time, Rip and Tomahawk. It's the 3rd year straight that the dog's fronted up for the Perth Cup Series, and I thought it was another tremendous performance to go home with a 3rd prize in that Perth Cup consolation at Group 3 level.
Yeah, that was a big thrill for us, Shorty. He puts his hand up every week, tries his guts out. Actually, I was just talking to one of the boys this morning. We might have to put a statue of him up at home at somewhere at some stage, but just keeps putting his hand up for the team and doesn't know how to run a bad race. And if you ever wanted to go to war with someone, I'm tipping he'd be the first person I'd choose.
It was start number 128 there on Saturday night and placed in a Group 3 final. It just shows you Two things. The dog deserves enormous credit, but so too does the trainer. To have a happy and healthy dog at start number 128 speaks volumes of the way that you've looked after this fellow, and he still maintains that zest for chasing. And, it's not easy. You look at his last half a dozen runs, he's been up against Sneaky Emoji, Eugenius, Agent 11, Tweak Freak, Uncle Tommy, the Perth Cup winner. He was placed behind only a handful of starts ago. He doesn't get it easy. There's no concessions for being the greybeard of the race, but he just doesn't know how to stop. He must be absolutely loving life still.
Yeah, he does absolutely love it, Shorty. We put him in the runs the other day and he's getting around like a 2-year-old, just charging up and down. And we've actually tried the Masters races with him, but he got beat at a $1.10 favourite, Shorty, there one night. So we thought we'll just keep him to the city. So, he still loves his racing, and he'll tell us when he's ready to pull the stumps. But I don't think there'll be a fourth Perth Cup consolation, Shorty, unfortunately. But, he's been a wonderful dog to the kennel. He's a very good dog, very honest, and, we love him at home.
Isn't that amazing? So we talk about, Rip and Tomahawk at start 128. What a huge job to front up for 3 straight series. How good was Bold Trees all those years ago, fronting up and not just competing, but winning 4 straight Sandown Cups all those years ago? Just you think about the just phenomenal feat that was to front up 4 years in a row and get the job done, old Bold Trees. When you see how well Rip and Tomahawk's gone for 3 years, you think, how the hell could a dog do it for 4?
Yeah, 100%. And I think in the 5th year he batted up and just missed out making the final. So, 4, that'll never be done again. Absolute freak of a dog, Bolteroos.
Yeah, that is the truth. All right, let's see if we can't help the punters find a winner or two, Shano, over the next little bit. We've got chasing this evening there at Mandurah. Who do you like?
Yeah, a bit of a red theme for me this week, Shorty. I'm going to kick it off tonight at Mandurah. Race 3, number 1, Mazuma Mayhem, now in a new kennel with Glenn Price. This dog looks well graded. Very good record off the 1 box. Very hard to beat there, race 3, number 1. Then we go over to race 11, number 1, Kingsbray Extra. Dog trained by Glenn Curry. Is a very good man with a dog. This dog really excels off box 1. You have a look at its recent form, Shorty. All its form's been really good. It's been drawing inside boxes. So that's a big plus here tonight. So 3-1 and 11-1 tonight at Mandurah.
3-1, 11-1 for the train this evening down there at Mandurah. On to Friday night chasing. Gee, these good Friday Cup heats, aren't they steaming hot?
Yeah, very good race, Shorty. We've always got good little series on in Perth, and I think as you've seen over the Perth Cup Carnival, if you put the money up, the good dogs will come out to play. So I'm going to kick it off with race 4, number 1, Black Salmon. I'll tell you what, Jay Rycard's done a really good job with this dog, and I think going back a couple of weeks or a couple of months ago, he's probably just grade 5 dog, but he's really gone to another level, and hats off to them. They've done a terrific job of him, Black Salmon. I think he'll get the job done on Friday night. He's got really good early speed, and he put himself up there. So I think he'll be hard to beat. Race 4, number 1, Black Salmon. And the dog that was good to us last week, Shorty, race 8, number 1, Butter Me Up. He did have a wide draw last week. He did have to do plenty of work to get to the lead. So I think box 1, bring him out a little bit, and I think he won't have to do as much work early. Should be a bit stronger at the back end of the race. So 4-1 and 8-1 on Friday.
4-1, 8-1 Friday night, and then off to headquarters Cannington on Saturday night. Give us your best and the best from the kennel this weekend.
Yeah, Cannington Saturday, Shorty. Race 2, number 4, Kenya Crack, and dog trained by Paul Stewart. Probably a little bit disappointing last week, but did have a chat with Paul last week, and he did say the dog's not a real good kennel dog. So I think you might find this dog is a big improver on Saturday night. It's in an early race. Won't have that issue of tying up sort of been in the last race. So looked a bit plain on paper last week leading up and getting beat, but I think you might see a different dog this week. So race 2, number 4, Kenya Kraken. And then we'll go over to race 5, number 2, West On Boomer. Dog trained by the Holst clan of dominating the scenes at the moment, Shorty, winning everything. But this dog will need to find the lead. I think if it does, it'll strip a bit fitter for last week's first 520 for a while. And it's just got that good early burn to put itself up on the speed. So 2-4, 5-2 on Saturday night. And the best for me, again, I think we'll struggle. We got Stevie Manelli half right last week, Shorty. It was a good place dividend. But I think race 8, number 6, Enjoyable is the best of my dogs over the weekend, Shorty. She's only young. She's coming through the grades. Got really good early speed. That's a key asset. She can fly the lids. Much better suited to Kennington 380. They just haven't had the novices on there, so we've been forced to go to Mandurah with her. But if she gets the start right, she can run 21.8, 21.9, which will be hard to beat on Saturday night.
All right, and how will Nangar Chief go in race number 3 on Saturday night?
Yeah, he pulled up a bit stiff after his cup heat, so he had last week off. We haven't done a lot with him. I think box 8's a little bit sticky, but yeah, we should be hitting the line good, Shorty, and we might give him a couple more 500s and then step him back up to that 600. Of course, we've seen him run them splits that we've never seen before a couple of weeks back, but we'll just get him a couple of 500s under his belt and then step him back up to the 6. And who knows, Shorty, he could be on a plane to Darwin later in the year again, try and have another crack over there.
Fair enough too. Excellent work, Shano. Thank you for joining us this morning here on Great Greys. Good luck with those tips and with all of your runners over the next couple of nights.
Thanks, mate. Have a good one.
There we have it. The Shane Train Williams to round out Great Greys tonight there at Mandurah. A few races I'm keen on. Race 4, number 2, Edith Hook. I think race 6, number 3, Sunset Peppy Short should be winning, as should race 8, number 1, Little Bit Sour. And one at a bit of odds, just under the $5 marker. I think race 9, number 4, Lady Daystar's just about ready to nick one of these races at a good price. So roll up doubles and trebles through 4-2 Edith Hook, 6-3 Sunset Peppy, 8-1 Little Bit Sour, and each way race 9, number 4 Lady Daystar. That's us done and dusted for Great Greys on this Thursday, the 21st of March. Big thanks to Matty McDermott for all of his great work. Thanks for your company. Have a wonderful Thursday. We're back tomorrow morning with Chasing Winners right after 9 o'clock.